Yes, good evening. Good evening to all. Today we have joined in Wednesday's Dhamma discussion, weekly Dhamma sessions, which is being conducted. The aim of this weekly Dhamma discussion is so that students get connected with the Dhamma and in a busy schedule in this today's world, we will be getting connected with Dhamma by gathering in a small groups and having a Dhamma discussion. Before start of session, we will pay homage to Buddha. We will recite Namo Tassa 3 times. You can all recite together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham Dhammam Sangam Namasami. Yes. Today we will be reading from Dīgha Nikāya number 26. I will be sharing the screen and it is called as Cakkavatti Sutta. It is translation as Bhikkhu Sujato. I will see whether Bhikkhu Bodhi translation is available for this or not. No, it is not available. We'll read Bhikkhu Sujato and we will have TWIM perspective on this. Yes, Sindhu, do you want to read?
Yes, give me a minute.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, fine. You can start reading.
Verse 26. The Wheel-Turning Monarch. Taking refuge in oneself. So I have heard, at one time, the Buddha was staying in the land of the Magadhans at Mathura. There, the Buddha addressed the mendicants. Mendicants, Venerable Sir, they replied. The Buddha said this: Mendicants, live as your own island, your own refuge, with no other refuge. Let the teaching be your island and your refuge, with no other refuge. And how does a mendicant do this? They meditate, observing an aspect of the body, keen, aware, and mindful, rid of covetousness and displeasure for the world. They meditate, observing an aspect of feelings, mind, principles, keen, aware, and mindful, rid of covetousness and displeasure for the world. That's how a mendicant lives as their own island, their own refuge with no other refuge. That's how they let the teaching be their island and their refuge with no other refuge. You should roam inside your own territory, the domain of your feathers, domain of your fathers. If you roam inside your own territory, the domain of your fathers, Mara won't find a vulnerability or get an opportunity. It is due to undertaking skillful quality that merit grows. King Dalhanemi. Once upon a time, mendicants, there was a king named Dalhanemi who was a wheel-turning monarch, a, a just and principled king. His domination, his domain excelled to all four sides. He achieved stability in the country and he possessed the seven treasures. He had the following seven treasures: the wheel, the elephant, the horse, the jewel, the woman, the householder, and the commander as the seventh treasure. He had over 1,000 sons who were valiant and heroic, crushing the armies of his enemies. After conquering this land grit by sea, he resigned by principle without rod or sword. Then, after many years, many hundred years, many thousand years had passed, King Dalhanini addressed one of his men: "My good man, when you see that the heavenly wheel treasure has receded back from its place, please tell me." "Yes, your majesty," replied that man. After many thousand years had passed, that man saw that the heavenly wheel treasure uh, had receded back from its place. So he went to King Dalhanini and said, "Please, sir, you should know that your heavenly wheel treasure has receded back from its place." So the king summoned the crown prince and said, "Dear prince, my heavenly wheel treasure has receded back from its place. I have heard that when this appears to a wheel turning monarch, he does not have long to live. I have enjoyed human pleasures. Now it is time for me to seek heavenly pleasures. Come, dear prince, rule this land surrounded by ocean. I shall shave off my hair and beard, dress in orchard robes, and go forth from the lay life to homelessness." And so, after carefully instructing the crown prince in kingship, King Dalhanini shaved off his hair and beard, dressed in orchard robes, and went forth from the lay life to homelessness. 7 days after that, the heavenly wheel treasure vanished. Then a certain man approached the newly anointed ar- aristocrat king and said, "Please, sir, you should know that the heavenly wheel treasure has vanished." At that, the king was unhappy and experienced unhappiness. He went to the royal seer and said, "Please, sir, you should know that the heavenly wheel treasure has vanished." When he said this, the royal seer said to him, "Don't be unhappy at the vanishing of the wheel treasure, my dear. The wheel treasure is not inherited from your father. Come now, my friend, come now, my dear. Proceed in the noble duty of a wheel turning monarch. If you do so, it's possible that on a fleeting day Sabbath, 15-day Sabbath, having bathed your head and gone upstairs in the royal long house to observe the Sabbath, the heavenly wheel treasure will appear to you with 1,000 spokes, with rim and hub, complete in every detail.
Yes, Sindhu. Now what we will be doing is we will take this and we will take twin takeaways from these first two instances. I think Nanda madam can read now.
TWIM takeaways bullet points. Taking refuge in oneself equals Satipatthana practice. Be your own island, your own refuge means direct experiential practice, not reliance on external authorities, rituals, or attainments. The true refuge is observing body, feelings, mind, and Dhamma with keen interest, awareness, mindfulness, free from craving, that is covetousness, and aversion, that is displeasure. TWIM emphasizes feeling Vedana. In TWIM, this refuge is primarily established by recognizing feeling tone, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. Liberation begins at the feeling level before craving solidifies. Practicing the 6 Rs keeps one inside their own territory. Mara cannot find a vulnerability. Mara responds habitual craving and identification. When attention stays with feeling, relaxation, softened awareness, craving does not arise, no foothold for Mara. The domain of your fathers. This refers to the Satipatthana territory, the original teaching lineage. Staying in this domain means no suppression, no force, no concentration through tightening. Instead, gentle, continuous awareness with relaxation. King Dalahanemi, TWIM Insight. Impermanence of external supports. The wheel treasure symbolizes power, status, success, spiritual signs or attainments. Even the highest worldly or meditative treasures cannot be relied upon. Right response to change. King Delanemi does not cling, grieve, or try to control. He lets go naturally, reflecting TWIM's principle. See it, relax, and allow it to pass. Renunciation through understanding. True renunciation comes from wisdom, not aversion. He recognizes enjoyment has occurred, conditions have changed. It is time to turn inward. Warning against attachment to results. The sun's unhappiness reflects attachment to signs. In TWIM, do not cling to jhana experiences. Do not cling to nimittas. Do not cling to progress markers. Clinging equals suffering, even to good things. Core TWIM message from both suttas. Your true refuge is continuous, mindful observation with relaxation. Freedom comes from letting go, not acquiring. Practice is internal, moment to moment. Merit grows through skillful qualities, not through control or grasping. The Dhamma works when it is lived, not when it is possessed.
Yes. Thank you, Nanda madam. Really, here it is talking about, it is touching about the craving aspect here. Like when craving, what we need to do when it directly reflects our practice, like relaxation, whenever any tightness is present in our during our practice, we apply the 6 Rs. And here, one of the aspect here, the story of King Dalanimi was that he goes forth from the home towards homelessness, and he gives up his entire kingdom to others. And he was talking about impermanence aspect, that the heavenly there was an instance where he was explaining the heavenly pleasures, and after 1 week there is no heavenly pleasure there. And he was telling there is no attachment to science. In TWIM aspect, what it is telling is we should not cling to jhana experiences. We should not cling to progress markers. Clinging is suffering, even to good things. Nanda madam, do you want to add anything? Sindhu, do you want to add anything?
It's very true with the 6R practice. When we learn to simply notice the arising and passing away of phenomena, there is a tremendous internal or within a feeling of peace and joy. It's very difficult to explain. There is joy there, happiness and relaxation. That is, I think, directly relating to a non-clinging, having no attachment to any of the phenomena which are rising and passing away continuously. So what this is saying is absolutely true when we continue to practice the 6R. If we can be detached at the feeling stage, then the problem is solved. Then the feeling will not flow into craving, and suffering ends. I can remember when I first started practicing 6R, for the first time in my life, I was experiencing a peace which is within me when I practice 6R. That is the start of weakening the craving element. It is amazing. The more we practice 6R, that serene, peaceful feeling slowly and gradually strengthen. So this is very, very true. Attachment is the cause of suffering, and detachment is, I would say, cause of peace and serenity.
Yes, very rightly said, madam. Attachment is cause of suffering, and detachment is free of suffering. It's very rightly said, madam. We'll read next instances. I think Archana madam has joined. We'll ask Archana madam to read. Madam, you can able to see the screen, madam?
Yeah.
Yes, madam.
The noble duty of a wheel turning to monarch, But, sir, what is the noble duty of a wheel turning monarch? Well, then, my dear, relying only on principle, honoring, respecting, and venerating principle, having principle as your flag, banner, and authority. Provide just protection and security for your court troops, aristocrats, vassals, Brahmins, and householders, people of town and country, ascetics and Brahmins, bees and birds. Do not let injustice prevail in the realm. Provide money to the penniless in the realm, and there are ascetics and Brahmins in the realm who refrain from intoxication and negligence, are settled in patience and gentleness, and who tame, calm, and extinguish themselves. From time to time, you should go up to them and ask and learn. Sirs, what is skillful? What is unskillful? What is blameworthy? What is blameless? What should be cultivated? What should not be cultivated? Doing what leads to my lasting harm and suffering, doing what leads to my lasting welfare and happiness. Having heard them, you should shun what is unskillful and undertake and follow what is skillful. This is the noble duty of a wheel turning monarch. The wheel treasure appears. Yes, your majesty, replied the new king to the royal seer, and he proceeded in the noble duty of a wheel turning monarch, which he was proceeding in that duty on a 15th day Sabbath. He had bathed his head and gone upstairs in the royal longhouse to observe the Sabbath. And the heavenly wheel treasure appeared to him with 1,000 spokes, which a ream and hub, complete in every detail. Seeing this, the king thought, I have heard that when the heavenly wheel treasure appears to a king in this way, he becomes a wheel turning monarch. Am I then a wheel turning monarch? Then the anointed king, rising from his seat and arranging his robe over one shoulder, took a ceremonial vase in his left hand and besprinkled the wheel treasure with his right hand, saying, Roll forth, O wheel treasure, trim, O wheel treasure. Then the wheel treasure rolled towards the east, and the king followed it together with his army of 4 divisions. In whatever place the wheel treasure stood still, there the king came to stay together with his army. And any opposing rulers of the eastern quarter came to the wheel turning monarch and said, Come, great king, welcome, great king. We are yours, great king, instruct us. The wheel turning monarch said, Do not kill living creatures, do not steal, do not commit sexual misconduct, do not lie, do not drink liquor, maintain the current level of taxation, and so the opposing rulers of the eastern quarter became his vassals. Then the wheel treasure, having plunged into the eastern ocean and emerged again, rolled towards the south, having plunged into the southern ocean and emerged again. It rolled towards the west, having plunged into the western ocean and emerged again. It rolled towards the north, following by the king together with his army of 4 divisions. In whatever place the wheel treasure stood still, there the king came to stay together with his army. And any opposing rulers of the northern quarter came to the wheel turning monarch and said, Come, great king, welcome, great king. We are yours, great king. Instruct us. The wheel turning monarch said, Do not kill living creatures, do not steal, do not commit sexual misconduct, do not lie, do not drink liquor, maintain the current level of taxation. And so the rulers of the northern quarter became his vessels. And then the will treasure, having triumphed over land surrounded by ocean, returned to the royal capital. There it stood still by the gate to the royal compound at the High Court, as if fixed to an axle, uh, illuminating the royal compound.
Yes, madam. Now we will be reading for the TWIM takeaways for these two paragraphs which madam has
Yeah,
read.
please.
Yes, I will be reading. TWIM takeaways. Ruling by Dhamma, living by cause and effect. Relying on principle means aligning actions with Dhamma, not personal desire. In TWIM terms, this reflects acting without craving, acting without aversion, acting without delusion. When causes are wholesome, results arise naturally. No force is needed. Protection without violence. Providing protection to all beings, humans, animals, birds, mirrors non-harming ahimsa. Film emphasizes that craving is the root of harm. When craving is relaxed, behavior becomes naturally ethical. Generosity prevents decline. Providing for the penniless removes conditions for greed, resentment, and crime. In TWIM, generosity softens the mind and reduces self-centered identification, supports joy, piti, and ease sukha. This parallels how loving kindness expands outward. Consulting this wise is equal to right view support. The king regularly consults ascetics who are restrained, who are gentle, who are calm, who are extinguishing craving. This reflects checking one's understanding against those who practice correctly. In TWIM, this prevents drifting into tight concentration, suppression, attachment to experiences. Skillful versus unskillful, that is dependent origination. The key question asked, what leads to harm and suffering? What leads to welfare and happiness? This is direct investigation of dependent origination. That is, craving leads to suffering, letting go leads to peace. TWIM works because it addresses the chain at feeling, Vedana. The wheel appears when conditions are right. The wheel treasure does not appear through wishing or grasping. It arises only after correct conduct is established. TWIM parallel. Jhanas and insights arise naturally. They cannot be forced. Relaxation and consistency allows condition to mature. Moral precepts has natural outcomes. The monarch instructs, do not kill, do not steal, do not misuse sexuality, do not lie, do not intoxicate. In TWIM, precepts are not rules imposed from outside. They emerge naturally when the mind is relaxed and clear. The wheel rolling in all direction. The wheel moving east, south, west, north symbolizes balance, completeness, non-preferential spread of Dhamma. TWIM practice similarly radiate loving kindness in all directions. That is, remove boundaries of self and others. Authority without force. The rulers submit willingly, no war, no coercion. This mirrors how a calm mind influences others naturally. Loving kindness changes condition without control. Craving never produces harmony. Letting go does. Final twin message. Live aligned with Dhamma, harmony follows. Letting go of craving, authority becomes natural. Ethical conduct supports meditation. Meditation clarifies wisdom. Wisdom completes the path. Just as the wheel stands unmoving at the capital gate when it works is complete, the mind rests when craving has ended. It is very well explained here. The story behind is that the king sees wheel-turning monarch and he starts rolling that, and as it wheel turns towards each direction, whenever someone stops, his army and king used to move there, and they used to discuss with the other kingdoms or other territories, and they used to say about the basic precept, following of basic precepts like not killing, not stealing, not having sexual misconduct, not telling lies, or not taking any intoxicants. When I'm protecting the people, when these conditions are fulfilled, and give to penniless, and also take care of ascetics and brahmins, and ask the ascetics and brahmins what is skillful, what is unskillful, what should be done. And these are the some messages that king told to other kingdoms, and peacefully that kingdom has been under the control of the major royal king, and there was no wars for having that kingdom too. And the Dhamma is, and here it is said that Dhamma is spread in all direction. In the when king has moved from each direction, the the Dhamma has moved in all direction without any preferential. In similar way, our loving kindness, we radiate loving kindness in all directions. This is very good example which is said here.
Yes.
Nanda madam, do you want to add? Or Archana madam, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I heard in one of the videos of Bhante Vimalaramsi, he's encouraging us to ask questions from our own self. Of course, we don't have an entourage of people around us to give us the answers. So what we can do, instead of asking a specialist these questions like a king has asked their supporters, we can make an effort to ask questions from our own self. What actually create suffering, and what actually create peace and serenity and happiness. And to me, when I ask those questions from my own self, the answer is the practicing 6R, which have an effect of a weakening, a craving little by little, but it does, that practice does get strengthened over a period of time, and inner peace and inner happiness and inner tranquility grows and arises within us. And my understanding is that is the time that we weaken the hindrances, and therefore the mind can easily and naturally incline towards jhanas and other higher states. As it's shown here, keeping the precepts is, Bhante Vimalaramsi said, not negotiable. That is crucial. That is vitally important for everyone to make an effort to live a virtuous life and to make an effort to let go of the unwholesome craving and attachment to especially a sensual craving. Yeah, this is a very nice, beautiful sutta which explains how we can reduce suffering and create peace and happiness within. Thank you.
Yes, madam, rightly said. We will continue to read next one. Anil sir, do you want to read the sutta? I think Nanda madam, you can read, madam, this one.
Section 3 on subsequent wheel-turning monarchs. And for a second time, and a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh time, a wheel-turning monarch was established in exactly the same way. And after many years, the seventh wheel-turning monarch went forth, handing the realms over to the crown prince. 7 days later, the heavenly wheel treasure vanished. Then a certain man approached the newly anointed aristocratic king and said, "Please, sire, you should know that the heavenly wheel treasure has vanished." At that, the king was unhappy and experienced unhappiness. But he didn't go to the royal seer and ask about the noble duty of a wheel-turning monarch. He just governed the country according to his own ideas. So governed, the country people did not prosper like before, as they had when former kings preceded in the noble duty of a wheel-turning monarch. Then the ministers and the councillors, the finance ministers, military officers, guardsmen, and professional advisers gathered and sent to the king, "Sir, when governed according to your own ideas, the country's people do not prosper like before, as they did when former kings preceded in the noble duty of a wheel-turning monarch. In your realm are found ministers and councillors, finance ministers, military officers, guardsmen, and professional advisers, both ourselves and others, who remember the noble duty of a wheel-turning monarch. Please, Your Majesty, ask us about the noble duty of a wheel-turning monarch. We will answer you." On the period of decline, section 4. So the anointed king asked the assembled ministers and councillors, finance ministers, military officers, guardsmen, and professional advisers about the noble duty of a wheel-turning monarch. And they answered him. After listening to them, he provided just protection and security. But he did not provide money to the penniless in the realm, and so poverty grew widespread. When poverty was widespread, a certain person stole from others with the intention to commit theft. They arrested him and presented him to the king, saying, "Your Majesty, this person stole from others with the intention to commit theft." The king said to that person, "Is it really true, worthy man, that you stole from others with the intention to commit theft?" "It's true, sire." "What was the reason?" "Sire, I can't survive." So the king provided some money to that person, saying, With this money, worthy man, keep yourself alive and provide for your mother and father, partners and children. Work for a living and establish an uplifting religious donation for ascetics and Brahmins that conducive to heaven, ripens in happiness and leads to heaven. Yes, your majesty, replied that man. But then another man stole something from others. They arrested him and presented him to the king, saying, Your Majesty, this person stole from others. The king said to the person, Is it really true, worthy man, that you stole from others? Yes, true, sire. What was the reason? Sire, I can't survive. So the king provided some money to that person, saying, With this money, worthy man, keep yourself alive and provide for your mother and father, partners and children. Work for a living and establish an uplifting religious donation for ascetics and Brahmins that's conducive to heaven, ripens in happiness, and leads to heaven. Yes, your majesty, replied that man. People heard about this. It seems the king is providing money to anyone who steals from others. It occurred to them, why don't we steal from others? So then another man stole something from others. They arrested him and presented him to the king, saying, Your Majesty, this person stole from others. The king said to that man, Is it really true, worthy man, that you stole from others? It's true, sir. What was the reason? Sire, I can't survive. Then the king thought, if I provide money to anyone who steals from others, it will only increase the stealing. I'd better make an end of this person, finish him off, and chop off his head. Then he ordered this man, Well, then, my men, tie this man's arms tightly behind his back with a strong rope, save his shed, and march him from street to street and square to square to the beating of a harsh drum. Then take him out the south gate and make an end of him. Finish him off and chop off his head. Yes, your majesty, they replied, and did as he commanded. People heard about this. It seems the king is chopping the head off anyone who steals from others. It occurred to them, we'd better have sharp swords made. Then, when we steal from others, we'll make an end of them, finish them off, and chop off their heads. They had sharp swords made. Then they started to make raids on village, towns, and cities, and to invest the highways. And they chopped the heads off anyone they stole from. And so mendicants, from not providing money to the penniless, poverty became widespread. When poverty was widespread, theft became widespread. When theft was widespread, swords became widespread. When swords were widespread, killing living creatures became widespread. And for the sentient beings among whom killing was widespread, their lifespan and beauty declined. Those people lived for 80,000 years, but their children lived for 40,000 years. Among the humans who lived for 40,000 years, a certain person stole something from others. They arrested him and presented him to the king, saying, Your Majesty, this person stole from others. The king said to that person, Is it really true, worthy man, that you stole from others? No, sir, he said, deliberately lying. And so mendicants, from not providing money to the penniless, poverty, theft, swords, and killing became widespread. Then killing was widespread. Lying became widespread. And for the sentient beings among whom lying was widespread, their lifespan and beauty declined. Those people who lived for 40,000 years had children who lived for 20,000 years. Among the humans who lived for 20,000 years, a certain person stole something from others. Someone else reported this to the king. Your Majesty, such and such person stole from others, he said, going behind his back. And so mendicants, from not providing money to the penniless, poverty, theft, swords, killing, and lying became widespread. When lying was widespread, backbiting became widespread. And for the sentient beings among whom backbiting was widespread, their lifespan and beauty declined. Those people who lived for 20,000 years had children who lived for 10,000 years. Among the
Shall I
humans.
read, madam? I will read, madam, so that it will balance your energy levels, madam.
Even I'll read.
Yes, madam. You can read, madam.
Yeah. Among the humans who lived for 10,000 years, some were beautiful, some were ugly, and ugly beings coveting the beautiful ones committed adultery with the wives of those others. And so many cons from not providing money to the penniless, poverty, theft, swords, killing, lying, and backbiting became widespread. When backbiting was widespread, sexual misconduct became widespread. Mm, just a minute. What is this? Okay. Their lifespan and beauty decline. नहीं कहीं तो आ गए हाँ, okay. Those people who lived for 10,000 years had children who lived for 5,000 years. Among the humans who lived for 5,000 years, two things became widespread: harsh speech and talking nonsense. For the sentient, being among whom these two things were widespread, their lifespan had and beauty declined. Those people who lived for 5,000 years had some children who lived for 2,500 years, while others lived for 2,000 years. Among the humans who lived for 2,500 years, desire and ill will became widespread. For the for the sentient beings among whom desire and ill will were widespread, their lifespan and beauty declined. Those people who lived for 2005 years had children who lived for 1000 years. Among the humans who lived for 1000 years, wrong view became widespread. For the sentient beings among those among whom wrong views and widespread was widespread, their lifespan and beauty declined. Those people who lived for 1000 years had children who lived for 5,500 years. Among the humans who lived for 500 years, three things became widespread: illicit desire, immoral greed, and wrong custom. For the sentient beings among whom these three things were widespread, their lifespan and beauty declined. Those people who lived for 500 years had some children who lived for 250 years, while others lived for 200 years. Among the humans who lived for 250 years, these things became widespread: lack of due respect for mother and father, ascetics and Brahmins, and failure to honor the elders in the family. And so mendicants, from not providing money to penniless, all these things became widespread: poverty, theft, swords, killing, lying, backbiting, sexual misconduct, harsh speech, and talking nonsense, desire and ill will, wrong view, illicit desire, immoral greed, and wrong custom, and lack of due respect for mother and father, ascetics and Brahmins, and failure to honor the elders in the family. For the sentient beings among whom these things were widespread, their lifespan and beauty declined. Those people who lived for 200 years, 250 years, children who lived for 100 years. When people live for 10 years,
I will check, madam, this how much it is there. I think we will read up to this one, madam. When people live for 10
57.
years. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. When people live for 10 years, there will come a time, medicants, then these people will have children who live for 10 years. Among the humans who live for 10 years, girls will be marriageable at 5. The following flavors will disappear: ghee, butter, oil, honey, molasses, and salt. The best kind of food will be finger millet, just as fine rice and with meat is the best kind of food today. The 10 ways of doing skillful deeds and will totally disappear, and the 10 ways to doing unskillful deeds will explore in popularity. Those humans will not even have the word skillful, still less anyone who does what is skillful. And anyone who disrespects mother and father, ascetics and Brahmins, and falls in honor the elder in the family will be venerated and praised, just as opposite in venerated and praised today. There will be no recognition of the status of mother, aunts, or wives and partners of tutors and respected people. The whole world will become dissolute like goats and sheep, chickens and pigs, and hounds and jackals. They'll full of hostility towards each other with acute ill will, malevolence, and thoughts of murder. Even a mother will feel like this for her child, and a child for its mother, father for child, child for father, brother for sister, and sister for brother. They'll just like a deer hunter when he sees a deer full of hostility, ill will, malevolence, and thought of killing. Among the humans who live for 10 years will be an inter, intergum of swords lasting 7 days. During that time, they will see each others as beasts. Sharp swords will appear in their hands, with which they'll take each other's life, crying, "It's beast, it's beast." But then some of those beings will think, let's neither kill nor the killed, nor be killed. Why don't we hide in thick grass, thick jungle, thick trees, inaccessible riverlands, or rugged mountains, and survive on forest roots and fruits, so that what they do when those 7 days have passed, have emerged from their hiding places and embraced each other, they'll come together and cry in one voice, "Fantastic, dear one, you live. Fantastic, dear foe, you live." My goodness.
Excellent, madam. Thank you, madam. It seems to be very really fascinating story of how the life from 40,000 years ends up to 10 years because of not following the precepts. What do you say, Nanda madam and Archana madam?
It's horrible. We can see today, we can
Today,
experience,
yes.
we are
Today.
experiencing today.
Really, we
Uh,
are experiencing, madam. Really, we are experiencing these things.
yeah, yeah.
Nanda madam, do you
But
want to share anything?
Yeah, it is very interesting to read that the link between living a virtuous life and the lifespan. As you said, the lifespan decreased from 40,000 to 10 years, uh, purely because of not keeping the precepts, not living a making an effort to live a virtuous life. Well, as Bhante Vimalaramsi says, living a virtuous life is not negotiable. That is vitally important for everyone who's living on this planet. And also, I was thinking about even the governments, if they can somehow get involved with the true Dhamma, understand, I guess, a dependent origination, everything, they should be able to govern each country with much more wisdom. Ignorance plays a very big part in this individuals as well as with governments. Let's hope for the best. I think we are living in a age of saints, so I think that's why some of us are interested in true Dhamma. So let's hope the true Dhamma has a profound effect on each individual and the governments. Thank you.
Truly, the message says that how important the precepts are, how it affects our society, our own mind, first of all, and how society and how the world moves. And there's a final statement here. Everything, personal suffering and societal collapse, begins and ends with craving at the feeling level. When feeling is not relaxed, unskillful action multiplies. But when craving is seen, relaxed, and let go, harmony naturally returns. This is the final conclusion of whatever we have read. Anyone want to share anything? Archana madam, do you want to share anything?
No, I'm stunned.
Yes, really, how this world has changed from 40,000 years to 10 years.
Yeah.
Really.
But
Uh,
how to protect
I'm also fascinated by this 40,000 years to 10 years.
that?
In
Yeah,
next reading, we will be reading how the world prospers, increases. We'll read
yeah,
that aspect.
yeah.
Gopinath sir, do you want to share anything? How are you, sir? Did you recover?
It's okay. Yeah, recurring, sure.
Good, sir. Good. Yes, we will read sharing merit altogether. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be. May the
May
living shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May
all
all
beings
beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May
may
beings
be
inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May the
May
Lord protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanking you all for joining. Thank you, Pai. Thank you, Sindhu. Thank you, Nanda Madam. Thank you, Archana Madam. Thank you, Paul Sir. Thank you, Vandana Madam. Thank you, Gopinath Sir. Thanking you all. Wishing all
thanks,
happy.
thanks you too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanking
Bye.
you.
Good.
Bye. Bye.